also eat what's healthy, right? And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the prophets about that also, right? At least it just talks about healthy stuff here. So it's something, inshallah ta'ala, we could bring back here. And here he talks about here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that the prophets have been commanded by two things here in the verses here. Number one is to eat healthy, and number two, to do righteous works, right? And this is the verse here, actually this is the verse I have here, right? Oh mankind, eat from what is health, what is from the earth. If you look at it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Kulu mimma fil ard. Eat from what is in the earth. What can you derive from that? If you think about it, that's like the asl, that's like almost a default. Now we're not like Hindus, we don't have stay away from meat. That's not, there's no fault in you eating meat, right? In Islam we don't have that. But we know what's in the earth is something that's natural, something Allah has gave us, and that could be fruit too. And the fruit's technically above the earth, but it comes from a tree, if you will, that's inside the earth, if you will. So to go back to these simple things, right? I think all of you guys have gardens in your backyard, maybe, right? To plant your own food, alhamdulillah. And actually it gets you a connection to the earth in this process. You know, I have a little garden in my backyard. We have eggplants, we have tomatoes, we have squash or zucchini, right? We have strawberries, we have cilantro, we have mint, we have green onion, right? It's kind of amazing to see that come up from, you buy at Home Depot like this big, and it's amazing. You actually use it and you eat it and you feel better. It's all organic. It's from the water of Eastvale, but whatever, inshallah, water is good too, right? So whatever your water sources are, but alhamdulillah, it's like you appreciate that a lot more. It's a whole different experience, honestly. And it's like a nice stress reliever too when you go in your backyard and you're just dealing with plants and so forth, right? I know it sounds like a green party type thing, but it's good for us to do, if you will, right? And then also here, if we go back, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions here that to be thankful, right? So he says, eat kulu min tayyibat washkurullah. And be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To be thankful for the food that you give, right? How can you be thankful for your food? What do you have to do? What do you need to do to be thankful? What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about? Yeah, jazakallah khair. How can we be thankful?
Basically, it's thankful for the blessings. The food is a blessing, so you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you got that food.
So we have a hadith, Prophet after you eat, you just say what? Alhamdulillah, right? There's other du'as people add, but it's a very simple hadith. They say Alhamdulillah, appreciate it. What's another way to be thankful? To be thankful for your food.
Charity.
To what? Share with others?
If you have extra, you can give it to poor.
Meshi, very good, awesome. What's another way?
Don't waste, don't eat.
Thank you, very good. Very, very good. Don't waste. Especially in the buffet lines in in Ramadan at the masjid. You could always go back. I know, if you go back, there's probably nothing going to be there, usually. Because people clean up everything, right? But you don't have to pile it on your plate. What happens, we all know what happens. Right before Taraweeh, you have the random plates everywhere. A little bit of rice here, some people have some meat here, there's some bread here. Guess where that's all going? The worker's going to come and do what? And throw it right into there. Because Taraweeh's going to start, we don't have time to clean and find out whose plate is this, and there's a cup of Coke here, a half cup of water there. A water bottle is the worst thing, because people drink a little bit and then the rest of the water, then what do you do? Nobody wants to drink from someone else's water. We all know that's like haram in America, right? When I went to Egypt, everyone drinks from the same cup, and I was like, I don't do that. In the masjid, there's a water container with one little cup there, and everyone drinks from the same cup. And I was like, sorry, I just didn't grow up that way. I'm not going to drink from that cup. I don't know. I want to get mono, and this is very. In America, we have another standard of cleanliness, right? So all that water is going to go where? Is someone going to take it and put it in the garden in the masjid? No. That's going to go what? All in the trash, right? And that's a big thing, right? And sometimes some brother, I was some brother, they're part of a class with me, and they left some food on the plate, and I was like, oh, you're going to take it home? Like, no, I just don't want it. I just want to eat anymore. Okay, but what are you going to do with it? Are you going to ask for a take-home box? No, I don't take it. No one's going to eat at home. Okay, so what are you going to do with it? You have to do something with it. I'm just going to tell them to throw it away. I don't want it. I was like, that's not an option. Like, who gave you that as an option? That's not even an option in your mind. Either, I know you shouldn't eat too much, but either you stuff it down in your throat, or you find a way, tomorrow you make it, or you get a pet dog and give it to him, or do something. There's not an option for leaving it on the table and walking away. There's nothing like that in Islam at all, right? I know my mom always used to tell me, like, whatever food you left on your plate, you have to pick it up with your eyelash on the day of judgment. And I learned there's no hadith like this, but she just made that up. Allah reward her for teaching me certain lessons, but anyhow. But you know, there's certain things where she trained us, like you lick your plate. I remember as a kid, we used to go lick our plate. It's not a good social thing to do in public, but anyhow. But you know, this is not an option to leave the food on you just don't, even a little cereal, you kids, you know, sometimes leave the milk. You might eat all the cereal, but it leaves like some milk in the bowl, and they think that's okay, you know, just throw it away. There's none of that type of stuff at all, right? Coffee in a little cup, okay, that's it. None of that, if you will. So just be thankful as to what? Eat all your food, don't waste, share it. What's another thing to be thankful to Allah? What can you derive from that verse? I'll go back for you guys. You should pick up. Right, go back to that verse. How can you be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
You can also keep in mind people who don't have that luxury available.
Very good.
Be mindful of people who don't have proper food.
Very good, awesome. But the main way that you can be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the food He gave me, right there, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Qulub min tayyibat wa'amul salihat," and do righteous deeds. The purpose of your food is for you to do righteous deeds. That is the ultimate way to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you eat something, I got power now. Good, I can read my Quran, I can pray now, I can go to the masjid, I can help do the chores in the house, I can go pick up my kids, right? That's all righteous deeds. That's the purpose of food. The problem here in America, you know what happens when they go to a restaurant, they serve you food, and they put it on your table? What does the waitress or the waiter say when they put that food on your table? Enjoy. Number one thing, they want enjoy. Right? They have this French word, they have bon appetit, right? My French is not too good, right? But that's what they say. So that means that what? The purpose of food is what? Enjoying. Decorated in a certain way. Like, that's why you don't watch too much of Food Network, man. All this bizarre foods, right? You know, like, enjoy the food. Food is an enjoyment, right? I got my salad, I got this, I got dessert, I got this, you know, pina colada drink and everything, right? Right? It's enjoyment. You know what the Arabs say? I'm not saying the Arabs don't waste food. But you know what? It's culture in the Arabs. When they give you the food, you know what they say? They say, "Siha wa afiyah." What does siha and afiyah mean? It means that make this give you health and make it be afiyah and shifa. Make it be a cure for you. Well, that's actually the purpose of food, of giving you health and giving you a cure. That will cure your body from what illnesses and you're feeling, I need food, I'm feeling so tired. No. That's the purpose of food. Right? Alhamdulillah, they still kept the same. Whether they ponder on what they're saying is another issue, right? But that's the purpose of food, is to give you health and to cure your body. We need to get back into that. That's what they should have. Nowhere in America will they give you food and say, like, may this give you strength and give you a long life. Thank you for this greasy 2-patty hamburger that has chili cheese fries. And, I mean, it's okay. You can eat your chili fries. We're in America. I know. Everyone here, I know you guys all eat your chili cheese fries and your burger, and it's all coming down. Okay, yeah, every now and then, alhamdulillah, that's okay, you know, you can do that. I'm not saying you can't do that, right? I understand. We're in America. It's not going to work if you tell people that. It's just, nobody will listen to you. But we have halal restaurants where if you finish the hamburger, guess what they do? They take your picture and put it on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, that is like, alhamdulillah for the halal hamburgers. I know we're dying for, like, our community is like dying for halal hamburgers. Like, this is like our main objective in our community. We need halal burritos and halal hamburgers. And then the ummah will be solved, and we'll have the next Khalifa, you know, next week if we do this, right? This is really backwards thinking. But, you know, we get it, and then we have that, you forgot the essence of halal hamburger. That, okay, now you're taking the community and telling them that, you know, finish this 1 pound burger, and if you finish it, you stuff your face, which is anti-sunnah, anti all this type of stuff, and then it's anti-sunnah, put your picture on the wall too, that's another anti-sunnah, right? Just tell everybody, like, look at me, and then you put your name on a plate and you hold it, and okay, Jazakallah, brother, I appreciate you having a contest and stuff.
You might have seen Aslam's photo.
Yeah, did you finish it?
Are you picking on me?
I've seen my friends on there, and I say, wow, you finished it, you know, but it just, it loses all the spirit of what are we doing. Why would you swallow the animal in the right, correct way, and you grass-fed the animal, and then you don't grass-feed yourself. You know, you stuff your face. I mean, I'm saying you can't eat meat. I'm not saying that at all. But, you know, it just, you know, we need a lot of things we need to work on, right? The problem is we are products of our society. Where there's shows on food TV called Bizarre Food. I don't know if you guys seen that. where the guy just travels, eats all the bizarre food and try to eat all the different crazy type of food. And people just watch that all day long, and it's like, it's like a thing to eat, like Master Chef and stuff. I understand there's art in cooking. I know my wife watches Master Chef and so forth, right? That's good, alhamdulillah. I learned how to cook different things. But don't make this like the essence of our existence. That's another issue that we need to go on. So I love this hadith. This lesson I think needs to be taught to our community. And I would love to be the one that actually brings that into our community. Where people don't like me after, that's fine. I don't really. So anyhow.
No,
Then the
but I
Prophet
think,
says something very
but I
interesting.
think that is good. Something new, which is based on the hadith.
So
Absolutely.
we don't think that the Prophet talked about this.
And
And there's
Quran
so
too.
many hadith.
Yeah, yeah,
But the Prophet talked about another thing about eating dates and cucumber.
yeah.
Why dates and cucumber? In Chinese medicine, it's talked about eating dry and wet food. They need to be balanced. Where dates is known as called a hot food, a dry food. It's moist though, but dry meaning that it's out in the sun. Where cucumber is known as something that's on the ground that's kind of more moist, if you will. And how this is like, Prophet used to eat these two things and how it balances your body. There's actually a whole science of this in Chinese medicine and Chinese ways of life. But Prophet actually did that, actually. And Hamza Yusuf, Allah preserve him, talks about this. How there's a whole science about how we do that, you know what I mean? And so anyhow, so just something to think about. The other thing the Prophet says that, then after this, after he says this, he talks about, then he mentions the case of a man who's traveled far, disheveled, dirty, right, dusty, who spreads out his hands and says, Ya Rab, try to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever he needs. Allah bless me, my family, forgive me for my doings, help me in my journey, whatever that means. But then the Prophet says that his food is haram, his drink is haram, his clothes is haram, he nourishes what is haram. How is his dua going to be accepted? Number one, why did the Prophet talk about he was journeying for?
Life is like a journey.
Okay. I want you to tie it into the dua.
So there's a difference between actions and its intentions.
Maybe he was having some hardship.
Okay. What do we know about traveling and dua?
Does it say when you're traveling, you want to take accepted?
So one thing that mentions that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in another hadith here that Abu Hurairah mentioned the Prophet said that 3 du'as are answered. There's other hadith that mention others, if you will. And there's no doubt in it. Automatically accepted, right? That of a father for his son, right? It's interesting the Prophet talked about that because the mother will always make dua for his kid. The mother and the kids are like this, They came out of the mother, they breastfeed from the mother, or they're always sticking with the mother. The mother's always, the dad sometimes is a rough one, where he has to lay down the law in the house, right? That's where when I want allowance or want some money for school, they go to the mom. And if the mom rejects it, then you're like, oh, now you know nothing's going to be done. There's no point going to the dad, right? So, but the dad doing dua for his son or his children is something very, very, I don't know, most of dads do that. But to do it more and to encourage that and be more sincere in that, right? And then of a traveler, musafir, same word in Urdu, same word in Arabic, right? So someone who's traveling to make dua that Allah accepts. Because you're going in a long way, you're going to the airport, you're stuck in a transit, going from one plane to the other or driving, so you're kind of preoccupied. For you to take time to make dua, that's something that shows something. Allah will accept it. And then the one who has been wronged, someone who has been oppressed, who's making dua, Allah will accept that dua if you will here. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about that person here. So here, in terms of that, you're learning etiquettes of dua. So there's 4 things of etiquettes of dua here. What are these 4 etiquettes? Number 1 is that to travel. Number 2, to be disheveled and dusty. Where the Prophet ﷺ says in another hadith that many a person with disheveled and covered with dust is turned away from doors, right? You come and see some guy come to your house and you're all dusty, like, who is this guy, right? You might want to shun him away, it looks kind of weird. But the Prophet says that if you would call unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will fulfill his dua. That's why they say the Hajj, why do you wear ihram for? And you're not allowed to comb your hair and put perfume on for. Because Allah wants to see you in the state of like you're working and putting effort in, and you're asking Allah, forgive me. You show like you're a needy state, if you will. Not that in Islam we want you to be dirty and smelly. That's not the point. But to be in this state that where you're struggling, if you will, right? So the dua that when you're in the state, that Allah will accept your dua. Another thing that you raise your hand. The Prophet ﷺ mentions in another hadith that your Lord is munificent. Munificent means that he's extra generous. And he's generous. And is ashamed to turn away the empty of the hands of his servant. That means that when he raises them to him. When you raise your hands to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's one of the ways to get your dua accepted. That's why they say when you make dua, not to keep your hands on your lap. Put them up. And don't go like this. Put it up to your chest where your heart is at. Show some respect, if you will. Right? That's what they say. Right? There's some times when you're raising your hand is not encouraged, like when you khatib, when they give a khutbah, some say the Prophet never raised his hand while you give him a khutbah. So some people, that's why you don't see the khatib when he makes a dua at the end, he's not like this. He kind of just keeps them down, if you will. Prophet did that, so there's some exceptions to that. Right? And number 4 is being pressing and urging and repeating. Where do you get that from? Because the Prophet mentioned that the person said what? Ya Rab, Ya Rab. Right? First of all, some scholars said that using the word Rabb is a way to get your dua accepted. I would say, Rabbana atina fi dunya. Rabbana ghfir li wali walidayya. Right, for example, right? So using the Rabb is one other way. And also to repeat. The guy said Rabb, Rabb, Rabb. Meaning he said it twice. Right? Oh Allah, Ya Ghafur, Ya Rahim, Ya Mateen, Ya Dhul Jalali wal Ikram. Right? Using the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a reason for your dua to accept. So the Prophet said that even though he's doing all these recommended things, what does it mention after that? He's doing things that gets his dua rejected. And what is that? Number 1, that his food is unlawful, that his drink is unlawful, and his clothes is unlawful. So how is Allah going to accept that? That's what we tell sometimes the people in the community, where people say, I've been making dua for so long for my children, or I'm sick. Well, how is your income? What are you asking about my income for? I thought I made dua for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's not answering me. Well, guess what? That's all related, right? That source of that dua coming from you, the source has to be good. It has to be tayyib, pure. Because it's going up to who? At-tayyib, Allah who's pure. So it has to come from, so pure has to be pure, or else it won't work. So make sure what you're eating is pure, your money that you get is pure, what you're wearing is from pure sources, or else that will all affect in terms of how that dua is going to be accepted or rejected. So that's also something that you need to keep in mind. That's why Imam Nawawi rahimahullah puts his hadith in here that's talking about foundations of the religion. But some people don't think about that, if you will. Right? So that's some lessons that we can learn from this. I know it's already 12 o'clock, so we're going to stop. The next hadith that we're going to learn, we're going to go over, is the hadith where the Prophet said that none of you will believe until he wants from his brother what he wants from himself. There's tons of lessons that we can learn from that. It'll take me another 30 minutes, an hour to go over that. But in general, what we can learn from that is that to prefer your brother, prefer yourself, is something that's hard to do, but you have to work on it, right? And that means to take away unselfishness and envy and jealousy from your heart for others, right? Think about others, if you will. And that just takes practice, because everyone wants to think about themselves first and foremost, right? That's the default of humankind. So there's a lot of things to talk about that. I just obviously won't go over that. But any questions or comments from the hadith that we just took? The previous one, in terms of dua and eating from tayyibat and good stuff.
You know how you were saying about eating, if you know that somebody owns whatever, liquor store, and you get invited to their house for dinner, or they sort of become your relative after so-and-so gets married and then they become your relative and you're invited to their house quite often. With that's not up to you. That'll be just like that, your money, right? That,
Yeah.
just like how you said that if somebody's giving you that $100, would that be similar, like you're taking that money?
Exactly. So the thing is, the fault for a Muslim with a Muslim is to have husna, then have good thinking. So I know that person had the liquor store, but when I go to his house, inshallah ta'ala, maybe that person used other money to buy that food. Another thing, food, the haram of that money doesn't get translated into the food in terms of you having a problem with that, right? You're eating from haram. No, haram is talking about that. So you're not responsible for the other person's sources. So therefore, you're not, in terms of obligated, or you're not responsible for the sin of that, if you will. So you have good thinking, and that's another thing. Another point of that is you don't have to ask that person: is this halal meat that you bought? Is it hand slaughtered? Is it from which store did you buy it from? You don't ask any of these questions, unless you know the person doesn't do that, or he says, you know what, this is from Albertsons. I'm just letting you guys know it's from Albertsons. go to a halal store that says, I don't believe in that, or blah, 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 blah. And it's up to you if you want to eat it or not. You know, you could excuse yourself, or, you know, you have to, that's a very touchy situation for people in life if you don't take their food, right? So that's another issue. When it comes to a Muslim, you don't ask them. As long as they, you know, when they enter that person's house, you know it's halal already. It's like if they had a sticker on the window, right? That's when, when I tell people when you go to a restaurant, it says halal on it, that's it, done. Don't say, can I see the certification? Can I see your freezer? Is it hand slaughtered? No, it's done. It's just, that's it. You eat their food, that's it, nothing else, right? Unless it's like you have a certain reason. It's a Hindu guy, he's not Muslim, but he has a halal sign. Okay, that's a little funny. We need it's halal meat. Like, yeah, I want to help out the Muslim, a lot of Muslim customers I have. So I bought it, and this is actually where I get it from. Okay. Because he's not Muslim, so he doesn't get that certain, you know, good thinking, if you will. So that needs to be followed up. But another Muslim, then that's it. That's all you need to do, if you will, right? So else you have a lot of suspicion, and you know, you're going to break a lot of relations, and that's how Muslims should be with each other. So there is a hadith, a lot of people like to say, and it's the last thing I'll say, where you have the hadith of Aisha, anha, where the meat was brought to her, and she said, oh, Prophet of Allah, we don't know if this has been slaughtered the right way. The Prophet said, say Bismillah and eat it. And sometimes this is especially in our Dixie community also, where people take the hadith and they go to McDonald's and they go to Taco Bell and they say Bismillah and they eat it, and they say, oh no, the Prophet gave us this thing. The hadith is talking about there were some people who just became Muslim, and they sent this meat to the Prophet. So if you read the complete hadith, there's a problem with not quoting the whole hadith. People misunderstand. And the Prophet said, no, go ahead and eat it. So this is you should have good thinking of it, even though they became Muslims hours ago or a couple days ago. So imagine the person that had been Muslim for 40 years and he had invited you to his house. Of course. The Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, that's it, right? So like I said, so it's not about some other person sent meat, some Christian or some McDonald's person or whatever. No, that's not the hadith. So people like to confuse this hadith. So that's another issue. So.
What did you just mention about McDonald's meat? Like you go there and some people say, because I know there's people that say, oh, this is Bismillah, you can eat.
That's why, because they take it from this hadith here. And I see people,
What was that?
so the hadith is that there's meat that was sent, Aisha radiallahu anha said, oh, Prophet, we have this meat here, and we don't know if it's been slaughtered the right way. And so the Prophet said, say Bismillah over it and eat it. So some people say that if you get meat and you don't know, Big Mac, this taco from Burger King, or from Del Taco or Taco Bell, or from In-N-Out, the Christians, for example, right? The thing is that here is that the hadith is talking about people who just became Muslim, and then they sent them meat as a gift to the Prophet ﷺ, or for whatever reason, I'm not too sure. And so the Prophet said, no, just say Bismillah. But it came from Muslims, you understand? It didn't come from non-Muslims, right? Some people don't quote the whole hadith here. So if you get meat from Muslims, right? Some people come in here with a tray of ribs. Where is it from? Oh, this uncle sent it. We heard how the guys had a class. You know, okay, then alhamdulillah. You know what I mean? Someone from the masjid sent this food. I'd say we don't need to know if he's slaughtered, that's it. Then we said that, oh, the neighbor across the street, he sent this food for you guys. He wants to have a good relationship with the masjid. Those are ribs? Yeah. Okay, now we have to question. You can't say, oh, no, say Bismillah and eat it, brother. We have this hadith. No, that's not the hadith. Right, so that's different, if you will. So did I clear up the question? Yeah, that's how we understand it. Anything else?
I have a question about the prayer. Like somebody is asking for a prayer, but the thing that person is asking is not meant to happen. That could be that person's test.
Mm-hmm.
How do you differentiate? Like, does that person think, or somebody can tell me maybe there was something wrong with your prayer? How do you differentiate?
Very good. So I have a whole khutbah I did on this. So when prayers are what is the reason why a prayer might be rejected? So there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts dua from everybody. Okay? Well, it's understood that as long as it's not from these are the conditions. So why are dua not accepted? So there's another hadith the Prophet said that Allah will accept dua from everyone. He might accept it, or what He'll do, He'll remove a harm that might come your way. So you're making dua for $100. So Allah might not accept that. I give you $100, but He might remove a harm that might come your way. Let's say you might get an accident tomorrow. Let's say that you might eat something and get sick. So Allah prevents that. So that's one way Allah. So He answers it in a different way. Now, how about if that, or we say Allah might answer your dua on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So you might delay it. Another thing why Allah might not answer your dua, because you might be making dua for someone that's evil, but you don't know. Allah, I want to work for Google. Oh, the best company, I get a $10,000 more income than the job I'm currently at. Allah might not make that happen because He knows that if you do that, you're going to be working 60 hours a week. You're not going to have time for your family. That's going to cause stress on your family. You're going to end up in a divorce. So guess what? You're going to stay at company X, Y, and Z. Well, I want you to accept my dua. Allah, Google's the best company. Oh my God, I need this 10,000. No, you know what? Yeah, you think money is what you need, but you know what? Your relationship with your child right now, you have time to sit down with him, do his homework with him, and take him to the park. If you go there, it's not going to happen. Your wife is going to have a hard time. You're going to see trouble. So guess what? We're answering your dua, but you don't know that we're answering your dua by rejecting it. So all this stuff is all ilm al-ghaib, all unseen. So that's why I said, once you believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Hakim, Al-Hakim, the most wise, then you know that I sent my dua up. Allah knows what the best is. Either you're going to reject it, or maybe you might accept it in another way, or maybe that I will get that new job, if you will. So there's multiple ways that can happen. And that's the way we have to understand it, right? And not to say Allah didn't accept it. Palestine's been occupied for 70 years. Oh, there's a reason for that. Maybe Allah wants to unite the ummah. But you're using this because you guys are fighting this and this. There might be one case where everyone, even the Bosnians and the Pakistanis and the Egyptians, will all at least work together for this, if you will. That might be one of the wisdoms. Might be one of the wisdoms that the people at least, why are no one helping Syria? But maybe because Allah is making it where the Syrian people can only rely on what? Allah. Know that the Americans not going to come and help you, the Egyptians not going to come and help you, the Saudis not going to come and help you, and you guys only know help is going to come from one source. So work on your iman. Right? Allah maybe give them a test this way. You might say that's not fair. These people are getting killed left and right. There's no wisdom in that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala runs it. He knows all what's. You don't know. You think your little mind can comprehend what's all going on the wall, all in the world? Oh, come on. Humble yourself, brother. Right? Yes, that's definitely wrong. We all know. We don't want no kids being died. We don't want Muslims to be dying. Yeah. Donate, make dua, whatever you could do. Write a letter to your congressman, write whatever you could do. But this is how we need to understand it. So dua, I don't always think. Another thing is why? If Allah will always accept our dua, what happens? Become what? We'll become spoiled. Right? And we won't know anything else other than that everything comes to us and we'll be small little kids. The kid always gets a present and always gets money every time. He never learns his lesson. Right? And when he doesn't get it, goes out, he throws a fit. And so my parents are never give me nothing. Why don't you give me this? Oh, no, that's not. So Allah does that for, we go countless reasons now, right? Of why that. So that's one. The thing is to keep your iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That should always be. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran that He is not asked, but we are asked. We don't question Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We get questioned, right? So that's showing respect and how to understand that. So there's a lot of things the way we can answer that. So you tell that person, have patience, like Yaqub alayhi salam. Why did my son get taken away for it? Why he got thrown down in the well? He didn't know. He got reunited with his son, you could say maybe 30, 40 years later. And he's a prophet. He's much better than anyone in this room. Right? And he was making dua, oh Allah help me. What he says, Allah give me sabr jameel. Give me beautiful patience. And the scholars say, what is beautiful patience? So there's something called sabr. Oh, it's going to finish?
Yeah.
Okay, let me do the last one. And what is beautiful patience? The beautiful patience is sabr connected with no complaint. Now you're patient, but you don't complain. You have to put both of them together. Some people are patient, but then they complain. Okay, I'll have patience. But you know what? Oh gosh, man, I really need to have this deal. I said, I need to get this job. I'll be patient. Right? No, you put both of them together. Right? And that's called sabr jameel. Not everyone could do that. Right? That's a level that all of us want, if you will.
The flip side, there is a flip side also, like culturally, like there are people know that their source of income is haram and they do very well in this world, and then guess what people start saying? Allah is happy at them, and all their prayers are being answered.
They don't know. Allah might be testing them, right, with wealth, and they don't know. They might think, that's why I told a brother that said, what's wrong with me? I know that didn't finish, it's okay now. What's wrong with somebody who makes a lot of money and wants to buy a 5-story house and have 3 Ferraris? I said, brother, the way we're looking at Islam is not how big your bank account is or how much money you have. That's a very low way of looking at life. That's what this society teaches you. That's why the Prophet says that ghina, that wealth is not of money, but ghina nafs, the wealth of the soul. If that soul tranquil, is pure, right? That is worth millions of dollars, not the wealth. That Muslim, we're not taught that way. You won't find that in the Quran, and you don't find that in the Sunnah. We look at the world in a different lens, right? I don't want to know about your bank account, but like, did you make Hajj, brother? How was your salah? Are you content? How's your wife? How's your kids? You see that family with 6 kids and that one little minivan, but they're happy and they're hugging and they're smiling. And I have me and my wife, and we have, this much in our bank account, but we're miserable. We don't argue in our house all the time, right? My kid doesn't listen to me. I want that family right there, right? Those guys are so happy. Look at them. They go to the park and they're a little kid and they're laughing. I wish I could have that, right? It's not about your income, right? That's a very low way, capitalistic way of looking at life, right? And like I said, we're products of our society. So the thing we have to make sure we don't get these thoughts out of our head. We have to wire our brain the way that the Prophet ﷺ did. And that takes classes and training, right? How do you get the training of that more money and more degrees is the best thing to do? Is because that's what our professors tell us, and that's what CNN tells us, and that's what Money Magazine tells us. And so therefore we wire our brain this way, right? Brother, little kid, I tell the youth, why do you guys want to be doctors and lawyers for? Number one thing they tell me is what? They make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. I say, oh, that's good. Allah wants you to do the best and do the best in everything you do. That's great. That's understand. But in terms of help, why don't you want to be a doctor? Because you want to cure cancer. Because you want to help people. You want to help out with Doctors Without Borders, right? And you want to do, not just because make an HMO, wealthy, right? This is the wrong way. Teach your kids to be doctors, but for the right reasons. Allah wants you to save a life is like saving humanity. That's what you want to do, right? Not because of, I can make 2,000K. Because if I'm this type of doctor, cardio doctor, he makes this much money. And I could get that car. You wired the wrong way. We need to fix that in our society. And that's a problem. And we need to get back into that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you. May Allah subhanahu ya Rahman ya Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our wrongdoings. Allah bless us in this time of this class. Help us get connected to the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ya Rabbil Alameen. We ask you to accept our du'as, ya Kareem. Make our du'as pure, tayyib, ya Kareem, ya Rabbil Alameen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us away from haram wealth, from haram clothing, and from haram lifestyle, ya Rabbil Alameen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help all the Muslimin in kulli makan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them from the oppression that they were going through, ya Kareem, ya Rabbil Alameen. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. نستغفرك ونتوب إليك بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Jazakallah khair, may Allah reward you for coming on this battling the 91 freeway. This all hopefully will be a proof for you on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Inshallah, we'll see you next week. Next week I won't be here, but Sheikh Obeir from Corona Masjid will be doing the class. So he'll be facilitating the class.